James Bond villain Merrick Garland is begging people to stay in the FBI. Please don't go. And I say, please, please leave. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. This is where the happy patriots are. Welcome to Exile, guys. First, we're going to watch some bad news, which is good news, from MSNBC.
Attorney General Merrick Garland and top Justice Department officials are trying to get career staffers to stay at their posts through the next administration.
No, run away, run away. Can you imagine Merrick Garland going in and trying to make everyone enthusiastic about saying, now everybody stay, please?
Sources tell the Washington Post that Garland is stressing that institutional knowledge is important as new leaders take hold.
Institutional knowledge, that's what we want to get out of there. Here's some of the polls on Americans going, we don't like the FBI anymore.
Patel has real reason to believe that Americans would go along with changes that he might potentially make at the FBI, and there's a reason why Donald Trump feels like he can make this change. It's because if you look here, FBI is doing an excellent or good job. Look at this time trend line. You go back to 2014, right? It was 59% of Americans, then 57% in 2019, 50% in 2022. Look at where we are today. My goodness gracious, just 41% of Americans think the FBI is doing an excellent or good job.
That's quite a trajectory you've got there. It's like straight down by 20 points since 2014. What changed? What caused that? What did the FBI do?
That is by far the lowest number this century.
Holy cow, it's even worse than I thought. It's worse than I've ever seen in a century. Guys, and that's CNN bringing you the good news.
The bottom line is, during the Trump administration, obviously there were the investigations into Donald Trump. You saw a little bit of drop then, and then post January 6th, look at that drop.
It was the investigations in January 6th. No one's buying what the FBI did. The press tried to do a full cover-up for them, make them look good. Christopher Wray, your FBI stinks. Merrick Garland, no one trusts you, you croaking little doughy-eyed turtle. Here's Julie Kelly, even on those stats, being pumped up and fake. And this figure is inflated because Democrats surveyed in the poll gave the FBI high marks. And we know why. Why would the Democrats give the FBI, they probably gave them all 100% to artificially buoy that number up, because the FBI is doing exactly what Democrats want. They want them investigating pro-lifers, investigating conservatives, investigating political opponents, investigating Republicans only, and giving a pass to Democrats. That's why those poll results aren't even honest.
Post notes that the weeks since President-elect Donald Trump's victory have been filled with uncertainty and tumult for many of the more than 100,000 individuals who work at the nation's largest law enforcement agency.
I just want to encourage them all, the tumult and the terrible things that you feel, you should leave, guys. Look at those low polls. Why keep those people around when America's, their polls are crashing on their job approval? Because you're doing a terrible job. Quit.
We've got institutions. The House is basically split. There's going to be a one-vote margin. We still have the federal courts, and we have the bureaucracies.
Joe Scarborough is championing that his side has the bureaucracies. Whoever was happy that they had the bureaucracies on their side?
And this is where Merrick Garland saying batten down the hatches actually seems to make a whole lot of sense, because if people quit, if they resign in large numbers, that makes the job easier to fill those positions.
And that's a good thing when you want your polls to go up. We want people to leave voluntarily, so it'll be easier to fill their positions by people who aren't apparatchiks, that people aren't there just to try to go hunt Republicans and Christians.
Been very different than what we saw in the aftermath of the 2016 election. 2016, there was shock, but also suddenly anger and resolve. And we saw Democrats really rally to try to stop what the incoming Trump administration, what they thought were its dangerous policy.
He just gave the whole thing away. He said Democrats were trying to stop the Trump investigation. He just called the FBI Democrats. Last time I checked, FBI had a job, and it should not have anything to do with your party affiliation. And to the Democrats that were fighting Trump in 2016, I hope every one of you leave.
This time around, Democrats seem really despondent. There has not been a protest movement, at least not yet, in the streets. It's sort of a hopelessness.
Yes, they're hopeless and despondent. That's the good news for today. That ought to put a smile on your face. I'm Doug in Exile.